Amare, I guess just playing a position that requires a lot of versatility and maybe different responsibilities, play to play, depending on the package. Just what has that process been like for you, kind of learning those responsibilities and kind of processing all that?
It's been good. I mean, playing DB, you want to show off your versatility, play different spots, different areas of the field. Just show different things. So I feel like I've been doing a good job with learning that.
How's that different, maybe from last year to this year, just having more experience?
Last year I just played a lot of rover. I really ain't played no high safety, no strong or free safety. So this year I'm actually playing all three of them and learning some things in the dime package. So that's the difference.
When do you start to feel comfortable in this role?
I'd probably say in the spring when everybody first got here. In the spring, we had a lot to learn. So after the spring, I felt more comfortable going into fall camp to the season.
Did you immediately kind of take on that dual role, or did that kind of evolve from spring practice?
That kind of evolved from spring practice, just being able to show like different things I can do. So yeah, from spring practice.
And what's the key difference between the kind of the rover spot and then the high safety spot?
The rover spot, you basically in the run and pass more than that. How safety, you covering a lot of field. So that's the difference.
I want to say that Signetti mentioned yesterday that he had to have a chat with you after the INT. What did he say to you?
I feel like it's all on me. I gotta act like I made a great play before, instead of doing, selfish things that I did. So I talked to him about that. But we all good now.
What was that flight like back from California?
Oh, it was long. It was a long flight. that was my first time going to California, so that was a real long flight. Now we was all just asleep on the plane. So,
what was maybe the biggest thing you guys took away from that trip out west?
I mean, just going out there and just making a statement. Everybody in the week, everybody was saying we got to go out there and make a statement because a lot of people still doubting us. So that was the main thing.
What jumped out when you guys watched the film for the defense?
Just how everybody's playing, fast, physical, and relentless. Everybody running to the ball, everybody communicating. Same things we preach every day in practice.
How do you avoid becoming complacent after a big win like that?
I don't know how to say this. Just move on to the next opponent. Not worry about the last game, but worry about the next game because it's the next game. So.
What have you kind of seen that's allowed you to get in these positions for these interceptions to start the year?
I'll probably give all the credit to Coach Haynes. He the one that calls the defense, allows us to be in those positions to make those plays. So I'll give all the credit to Coach Haynes.
Who's kind of the key in the secondary with that communication, kind of passing on the calls and things like that?
Well, I would say probably more of the high safety, so Josh Sanguinetti and Sean Osbury, as they the two high players and can, get it to the far corners, the boundary corners. But, just those two and me, I would say.
Did it take time to develop in fall camp, or did you guys feel kind of on the same page early on?
I feel like that took a little bit of time. In the spring, we really weren't as communicating as we were now. We really weren't as, close as we are now as a defense.
What are you trying to work on as the season progresses?
Just being more consistent day in, day out, going out there, giving my best ability every single play.
How are you prepping to play without CJ and D'Angelo in that first half?
We still prep the same. Those are real big players that we going to miss for this game. But, next man up. So other people get their chance to make some plays.
Last year when so many others around you left, you stayed. Why?
I feel like it just wasn't my time to leave, and everything happens for a reason. And, with Coach Signetti coming in, I knew he had a winning program, and I knew he was a great coach. So I just want to play up on the Coach Signetti.
When you stayed and you guys are in that process of trying to figure out your role, what did those kind of conversations look like from your point?
Well, I always knew I was going to stay, but I just didn't know, how everything was going to affect out on, the new coaching changes. But, after talking to Coach Signetti, Coach Adams, Coach Haynes, they talked me and said what positions I was going to be playing, and I was fine with that.
Do you remember what your first initial conversation was with Coach Signetti and how that went?
No, I really can't remember because, he was real busy when he first got here, so I really can't remember too much about that.
What do you feel like Coach Signetti's done, in the week leading up to the game and then maybe also during the game to kind of mentally prepare you guys and kind of keep you level-headed?
He just demands perfection every single day. We probably won't lead a practice field if we don't get everything correct. So, and that also helps us lead into the game because if if it ain't perfect in practice, you know, it ain't gonna be as good as it is in the game. So that's something he does well.
How do you enjoy that style of coaching?
I actually enjoy. I always had a coach like that that's always on top of it, keeping everybody level-headed. So that's why also he's just a great coach.
So with celebrating, are you allowed to celebrate a little bit, or did you just do too much? Do you know what the line is? Like, what was his kind of point? I'm just kind of curious as to what's allowed and what's not.
I feel like I did too much.
Okay.
If anything, when you make a takeaway, you go straight to the sideline and celebrate with your teammates. But I kind of didn't do that. So
Okay.
That's why he got on to me about that.
All right. So next time, kind
Yeah,
of.
it won't be no next time. So next time, I'ma just, hopefully I make a good play and just go straight to the sideline.
Do you find that that kind of standard will make a difference for this team?
Yeah, that just goes to show you he holds everybody to a certain standard, not just certain players, but everybody. So I feel like that's why I'm here.
Is it tough to kind of tamp that down in big moments like that, though?
Of course, but you also gotta, like he said, you gotta also make it seem like you made great plays before in those moments. So big time players make big time plays in the biggest moments. So, yeah.
Did he at least crack a smile during that conversation?
No, not at all. No smiling.
One more. When you're at Rover and you're playing high, playing low, playing in, playing out, how challenging mentally is that on a snap-to-snap thing?
I would probably say it's not as challenging as it was last year. I mean, the game has slowed down a lot for me, just being able to play the two different positions and seeing different things at the different positions.